Konnichiwa. In this video, we're expanding our knowledge of counters in Japanese. You may want to pause the video at times so that you can take notes. We already know a few counters, like the ones for people and minutes. So, for instance, if you want to say, I have two older brothers, you can't just say two, ni, and older brothers, ani. You have to actually say, I have two people of older brothers. Futari no ani. Where futari means two people, and it's the counter for people. So, two people of older brothers. When you're learning counters, there are three main elements to think about. What are you counting? The forms of the counter, and how do you use it in context? This week we'll learn the counters for long cylindrical objects, like pens or pencils, crayons, markers, even trees, telephone poles, etc. We'll also learn the counters for small animals like dogs and cats, and we'll learn the counters for large mechanized goods like cars, but it also works for bikes and appliances and other things. And finally, the counter for birds. Two of these counters are a little easier, these two, and these are a little harder. And the counters generally are hon, for long cylindrical, HIKI, for small animals, dai, for the mechanized goods, and wa, for birds. The reason these two are a little harder is because they change form. Sometimes it's hon, sometimes it's bon, and sometimes it's pon. Likewise, this one could be hiki, piki, or biki, whereas this one's always dai, and this one's always wa. Alright, so let's start with the two easier ones. So, for large mechanized goods, the counter is dai. This is the kanji for it. It's pretty easy kanji, but you don't need to learn it. But basically you have mu, katakana mu on top, and katakana ro on bottom. And like I said, this one's used for large mechanized goods and appliances. So things like cars, and bicycles, computers and TVs, even cell phones or smartphones. So like I said, this one's regular and it doesn't change its form. So it's always going to be dai. So it's basically just going to be number and dai. Like ichi, dai. And don't forget, once we know this, it's the normal pattern, ichi dai, ni dai, san dai. We still need to think about our three numbers that have alternate forms. So that's 4, 7, and 9. So let's just run through these. Even though it's a regular pattern, I'm going to go through all of them. So we have ichi dai, ni dai, san dai. Next we have yon dai. I'm sure you can figure out 5 and 6. Go dai, roku dai. For 7, we're going to use nana. Nana dai. 8, of course, is hachi dai. 9 is kyu dai. 10 is ju dai. The last form that you need to learn is the question word. And that's going to be, I wrote ta, nan dai. And those are all the forms that you need. So you may want to pause so you can take notes. Again, we have 1 dai, 2 dai, 3 dai, 4 dai, 5 dai, 6 dai, 7 dai, 8 dai, 9 dai, 10 dai. Nan dai? So we've got what we're counting, we've got the form, and now we need to use it in context. So if you want to say 2 computers, you would say ni dai no computer. And here I use the kanji for 2. I could have used the kanji for dai as well if you want. Ni dai. And that's basically it. So for our next one, counting birds, the counter is wa. And like I said, these two are very easy because they're regular. They don't change form. So for this one, I'm not going to write all the notes out. You can choose if you want to or not. But basically, I'm just going to show you what the forms are for 4, 7, and 9, and the rest are regular. So we've got wa. The kanji is a fun kanji. Looks like that. And that means feathers as well. It can be pronounced hane, but here it's the counter. Now this counter, like I said, is for birds. But interestingly, it's also the counter for rabbits. I don't know why, but rabbits get counted the same way as birds do. Alright, luckily enough, 4, 7, and 9 are going to have the same forms that we use for dai. So we've got 1 dai, 2 dai, 3 dai, 1 wa, 2 wa, 3 wa, 4 wa, 5 wa, 6 wa, 7 wa, 8 wa, 9 wa, 10 wa, and then the question is going to be, oh, I did it again, nan wa. And that is how we count birds and rabbits. So if you want to say 2 birds, you're going to say ni wa no tori, or ni wa no tori in kanji. And if you want to ask how many rabbits, you would ask usagi ga nan wa imasu ka? There are how many rabbits? Alright, so now on to the other 2 that are a little more difficult. They're not too hard, especially if you already know how to count minutes, which you do. So we've got HIKI, and we've got hon. Alright, I'm going to show you these kanji as well. We do need to learn this one, but luckily enough you already know it. And this one you don't need to know, but it's so close to something you already know, you might as well take a look at it. So this one looks almost like the kanji for 4. It's just missing the right side. And this one is the same as the kanji for book. So like I said, these have 3 forms. It can be hiki, piki, biki, hon, pon, and bon. And you just have to remember which forms they are for which numbers. So we're going to write all of these out. So for 1 through 10, and for how many? Alright, so we've got ichi, which is going to do ippiki. Ni, back to normal. Nihiki. San, we get the 10-10. Sanbiki. 4, back to normal. 4 hiki. 5 hiki. Then we get chisaitsu again, so we're going to get 6 piki with a maru. Well, that's really small, isn't it? Alright, we're going to zoom in a little bit and see if that helps. There we go. It's a little better. And again, feel free to pause this video at any time. And you can find these pretty easily online if you're struggling to see my handwriting. Next, we've got na hiki. I'm going to have to move these down. Chisaitsu again with a maru, 8 piki. 9 hiki. And then, oh, this one gets a chisaitsu and a maru as well. So, 10 piki. So we get the chisai-yu, chisaitsu, and then the maru. And finally, for the question, we're going to get a 10-10 again. So, nan biki. Like I said, we use this one, hiki, for small animals. So it can be anything from fish to cats, mice, dogs, like I said. So any small animal, just not birds and rabbits. Alright, and so if you want to say one dog, you would say ippiki no inu. If you want to say 3 cats, you're going to say 3 biki no neko. Alright, so next we're on to hon. Do you remember what hon counts again? Long cylindrical objects, like pens or pencils, markers, trees, and there's some other things that also counts, like films and things like that don't seem to be normal, but they do. Alright, so what's nice is, notice how this is on the H column. So we have he here and we have ho here. So to start with H's, it's going to be the same pattern that we just saw with hiki over here. So where you have a chisaitsu and a maru, we're going to have a chisaitsu and maru. Where we have a 10-10, we'll have a 10-10. So even though there's a lot of forms to remember and it's kind of strange, at least it follows the same pattern across. So I'm just going to write these and say them. Ippon. Nihon. 3 本. 4本 5本 6本 7本 8本 9本 that's a little ugly. 10本. And then finally, 何本 for how many long cylindrical things. Alright. So if you wanted to ask someone for 2 pencils, for instance, you would say 鉛筆を2本ください. That means give me 2 pencils, please. 鉛筆を2本ください. And as some of you may have noticed, if we do this counter with 2, it's nihon. What else does nihon mean? Of course, it means Japan. So, how will you know the difference? Well, usually it's context if you're just speaking, but if you're writing, if it's Japan, we'll have nihon. And if it's pens, pencils, markers, it's going to be nihon. And so that's how you can tell the difference. So I hope that this has been clear for you and that you were able to get some good notes from this. And we're going to be practicing these from this day forward. Good luck. Send me any questions if you have any.